she killed her own father and filmed it. Just let those words sink in for a moment. It's a headline, a statement that feels almost impossible to grasp. Today, we're stepping into a story where that unimaginable horror became reality. A story about trust, betrayal, and violence hitting terrifyingly close to home.
We're talking about Daniel Halseth. From everything we know, he was, well, a pretty quiet guy, steady, ran his own computer business there in Las Vegas. People described him as loving his kids, wanting peace, not the kind of person looking for trouble.
Seemed like a normal life anchored in stability.
Pretty much. But that stability started cracking back in 2011. That's when his marriage to Elizabeth began falling apart.
And Elizabeth wasn't just anyone. She was a Nevada state senator, public figure, so their separation wasn't exactly private.
Not at all. And the core of the fighting, it seems, was Daniel suspecting Elizabeth was seeing someone else, another man.
Which turned out to be true, right? A guy named Tiger Helgelian.
Exactly. Yeah. And the dynamic that played out is, well, it's disturbing, but also kind of classic in these situations. Elizabeth denied it, of course. But she didn't stop there. She flipped it, painted Daniel as the problem controlling, paranoid.
It's a powerful way to shift blame,
Yeah, deflects everything. There was just one specific fight, wasn't there, where Daniel, he lost his temper, the pressure clearly got to him.
Right, he yelled, cursed. But the key thing, and even Elizabeth admitted this later, was when she said, stop.
He stopped.
Immediately. Stopped yelling, walked away. No physical threats, didn't touch her. She confirmed that herself.
Okay, but then, 5 days later, Elizabeth goes to the police, files a report, and she claims he did touch her inappropriately during that fight.
Despite saying earlier he hadn't.
Correct. And here's where Nevada law at the time becomes really important. For a charge of open and gross lewdness, which is what she alleged, you didn't actually need physical evidence.
So just her word was enough?
Essentially, yes. Her accusation alone set the wheels in motion.
Wow. And the consequences for Daniel? They were immediate.
Devastatingly fast.
Yeah.
Arrested, convicted,
Yeah.
forced onto the sex offender registry. Just imagine that. Overnight, his whole life, his reputation, gone.
Based on an accusation with no physical proof required, it just shows the sheer power of words in that legal context.
Absolutely. And things just got worse from there. The divorce was incredibly ugly, very public because of her political position. She championed family values publicly.
Oh, the irony. And the tabloids must have had a field day.
They did. Rumors flying about the affair, Daniel's arrest.
Yeah.
It fueled the whole thing. Then came the custody battle.
Which he lost.
He lost big time. Elizabeth got full custody of their 3 kids. And not long after, she moved them to Alaska.
Alaska. With Tiger Helgelian.
With Tiger Helgelian, the man she denied being involved with. They later got married up there. For Daniel, losing his kids, his 3 little angels, as he called them, he must have been unbearable.
He must have been absolutely heartbroken. Did he try to move on?
He tried. Yeah, he remarried for a while to a woman named Bogdana. Outwardly, online anyway, he projected this image of, resilience, gratitude, kindness.
But underneath...
You have to assume there was just immense pain from losing his children like that. That second marriage ended, too, in 2019. Another blow.
But then things changed again in 2020.
Yeah, a major shift. Elizabeth moved back to Las Vegas with the kids.
So Daniel could see them again?
For the first time in years, yes. And then something pretty significant happened. His youngest daughter, Sierra, who was 16 by then,
Yeah.
she decided she wanted to live with him full time.
Wow. After everything, she chose to live with him. That must have felt like a miracle for Daniel, a chance to reconnect.
Absolutely. Pure joy, I imagine. Even though technically this wasn't legally sanctioned by the existing custody order, Sierra just wanted to be there.
But Elizabeth wouldn't have been happy about that.
Not even slightly. Her reaction was furious, immediate, and it kicked off another really intense legal fight over Sierra.
What were the arguments this time?
Daniel was basically saying Sierra was in a toxic situation at her mom's, that she needed his help. He even got her into therapy. He mentioned a letter, supposedly from Sierra, saying she wanted to stay with him.
And Elizabeth's side?
She claimed the letter was fake, that Daniel was manipulating Sierra, that he was unfit, just throwing accusations back and forth.
It sounds exhausting, and caught in the middle is a teenager.
Exactly. The judge handling it clearly saw that, got exasperated, and basically told them, if you two can't figure this out, your daughter will be the one who pays the price.
Chilling words looking back.
Very chilling. In the end, the judge ordered Daniel to return Sierra to her mother.
And he did. He followed the order.
He did. He drove her back to Elizabeth's house, watched her walk up to the door, said goodbye again.
Hmm.
Another gut-wrenching moment for him, surely.
But that wasn't the end of it, was it?
Not even close. That same night, the very night he dropped her off, Sierra ran away.
Back to Daniel's.
Back to Daniel's house. She was making it crystal clear where she wanted to be. It was a real act of defiance.
So, fast forward to April 2021. Sierra's back with Daniel, seemingly against a court order, but it's where she wants to be. Things must have felt hopeful again for him.
Yeah, there was definitely a sense of renewed hope.
Yeah.
He saw Sierra laughing more, sleeping better. He was actually preparing a new court motion to try to make the living arrangement official, legal, keep her safe.
He just wanted things to be right for her.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But then, April 8th, everything goes quiet.
Quiet.
The communication stops. But something else starts. These really strange withdrawals from Daniel's bank account.
How strange.
Hundreds of dollars at a time. Multiple ATMs, different locations around Vegas. The bank actually flagged it as suspicious activity.
Okay, that's definitely weird. Who got the alerts?
Well, Daniel obviously would have. But also his ex-wife, Bogdana. She was apparently still a co-signer on the account.
So Bogdana sees these weird withdrawals, and she can't reach Daniel.
Exactly. She tries calling, texting, nothing. Silence. She starts getting really worried.
Understandable. What does she do?
She calls Daniel's mother, Christine. Shares her concerns of the bank stuff. Daniel not answering.
And Christine must have known something was wrong immediately. She talked to him daily, right?
Almost every day. So yeah, Christine felt it instantly. Deep unease. She tries calling Daniel, nothing. Tries Sierra, nothing at first. Then she gets a text back, supposedly from Sierra.
What did it say?
Something like, his phone's acting up, he's fine, it'll be fixed tomorrow. But Christine said the tone just felt wrong. Not convincing at all.
Her gut feeling was screaming.
Absolutely. She waited, hoping maybe it was just a phone issue, but the feeling wouldn't go away. The next morning, still silence. No word from Daniel.
She must have been frantic.
Increasingly so. She texts Sierra again, much more urgently this time. Put your dad on the phone, now.
Demanding proof of life, essentially.
Pretty much. And the reply that comes back a little later, he's in the shower.
He's in the shower.
That was it. That simple, dismissive text. Christine knew then. She said she knew with absolute certainty something awful had happened to Daniel.
Oh my God, what did she do?
Her instincts took over. She called Daniel's landlord, Peggy Newman. Asked her, pleaded with her to go check the house. Peggy was running errands, said she'd go later.
But Christine couldn't wait.
Couldn't wait. The fear was too much. She called 911, requested a welfare check, told them Daniel would never just disappear like this.
And at the same time, the landlord, Peggy.
Right around then, Peggy and a friend actually arrive at Daniel's house.
Yeah.
First thing they notice, his car's gone. The house is just silent.
Eerily quiet.
Yeah. They knock, yell for him, no answer. They try the door handle.
It was unlocked.
Unlocked. They push it open, step inside just a little bit, and immediately stumble back out, screaming. Pure horror.
They saw something terrible.
Peggy immediately calls 911 herself. Panicked, talking about blood everywhere, Daniel being gone, something awful having happened.
So now we have 2 911 calls, and the police are on their way. But the timeline, it jumps back a bit, doesn't it, to the day before?
It does. Because while all this is unfolding on the 9th, security cameras from the 8th start telling their own story. Footage from ATMs, stores.
Showing who?
Showing a young man and a young woman withdrawing cash from Daniel's account. Then shopping. Winco, Home Depot.
Buying what? This is crucial.
Bleach, drop cloths, disposable gloves, a circular saw, lighter fluid.
Oh no, all paid for with Daniel's card?
Every item. And later that day, Daniel's car, his blue Nissan Altima, is spotted on traffic cameras leaving Las Vegas.
The pieces are falling into place, and it's horrifying, premeditated.
Looks that way. So when the police finally get inside Daniel's house after Peggy's call, the scene confirms everyone's worst fears.
Just describe what they found.
It was gruesome. Blood, obvious signs of struggle or at least violence, burn marks on the walls, the floor, and the smell. Fire, bleach, and death. Overpowering.
And Daniel.
The most horrific discovery was in the living room, a sleeping bag. Inside, a body, charred, mutilated, burned so badly it was initially unrecognizable, propped up against the garage door.
Oh my God, propped up.
Yes. And around the room, more evidence. 2 saws, 1 circular, 1 possibly a chainsaw smeared with blood and tissue. More blood stains. Ashes everywhere. A clear, desperate attempt to destroy everything, including the body, by fire.
An attempt that failed.
Thankfully, yes, it failed. The house didn't fully burn.
So where were the suspects? The young man and woman?
They were gone. Fled in Daniel's car, but 4 days later, Salt Lake City.
How were they caught?
Almost randomly, it seems. Transit police dealing with someone on a bus who didn't have a ticket. They run his name, Aaron Guerrero, 18 years old. His name is flagged. Wanted for questioning by Las Vegas police in connection with a homicide.
Aaron Guerrero. And he wasn't alone, was he?
He was not. Traveling with him was Sierra Halseth,
Yeah.
Daniel's 16-year-old daughter.
Found together. But the final piece, the absolute confirmation.
Came from their luggage. Police searched their bags, found their cell phones, and on one of those phones, a video.
Found the video.
It's chilling. You hear a voice, likely Aaron's, saying something like, day 3 after murdering someone. Laughter.
Laughter.
Yes. Another voice, presumably Sierra's, said, don't put that on camera. And then the first voice replies, it was worth it.
It was worth it.
The unthinkable confirmed. Daniel's own daughter, the girl he fought for, the girl who ran back to him, helped murder him, and filmed themselves talking about it.
The full, precise details of every second inside that house. We might never know all of them. They weren't made fully public, but the evidence paints just a horrifying picture.
It does, and it starts with Daniel's trust. His love for Sierra meant he likely wouldn't have suspected a thing when she showed up with Aaron Guerrero. That bond, it made him vulnerable.
He let them in, no questions asked.
Almost certainly. And the attack itself, Savage doesn't even begin to cover it. Over 70 stab wounds, mostly to the back of his head.
Meaning he likely never saw it coming, never fought back.
The evidence suggests exactly that.
Yeah.
No defensive wounds. He was attacked by the person he was trying to protect.
And then the aftermath, the attempts to dispose of the body.
It's just layer upon layer of horror. Wrapping him in that sleeping bag, dousing it with lighter fluid, setting it on fire right there in the living room.
But the fire didn't catch properly, didn't destroy everything.
No, thankfully. It smoldered, caused damage, but didn't fully engulf the body or the house, which seems to have led to their next, even more desperate act.
Which was?
Trying to dismember him. Using that circular saw, maybe the chainsaw too, they started, but couldn't finish the job.
Leaving the saws there, with evidence on them.
Yes. Saws with blood and tissue still on them. They tried cleaning up with bleach, maybe tried to start another fire. It was frantic, panicked, and ultimately sloppy.
And they just left him there, burned, partially mutilated by the garage door.
Left him in his devastated home and walked away.
And that same day, Sierra's texting her grandmother, he's in the shower, can't talk, knowing he's dead.
The coldness of it is staggering, just utter deception.
Their capture in Salt Lake City, it sounds almost accidental. Evading bus fare.
It really does. A minor infraction leading to the unraveling of a horrific crime. When they were caught, they didn't resist, didn't confess right away.
But they didn't need to, did they? The video.
The video on their phones was the confession, undeniable. Smiling, laughing, talking about the murder, saying it was worth it.
It's just beyond comprehension. The lack of empathy, the disconnect from reality, it's terrifying.
It really is. And it leaves you with that terrible, haunting question, why? Why would a daughter do this? Especially to a father who clearly loved her, who fought for her.
What could possibly be the motive?
It's hard to say definitively. Was it anger over the custody battles? Blaming him for keeping her from Aaron? Was it Aaron's influence? A toxic mix of teenage impulsivity, maybe some twisted idea of love or loyalty, and just a complete failure to grasp the finality, the horror of what they were doing.
We can speculate, but the bottom line is, Daniel Halseth didn't deserve this. He deserved none of it.
Absolutely not. It wasn't just murder. It was the deepest kind of betrayal imaginable from his own child.
And that detail about his obituary, listing only 2 children, omitting Sierra's name, that speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It's heartbreaking. It symbolizes the double loss for that family. They lost their father, their brother, and they lost Sierra too in the most horrific way.
Have they gone to trial yet? Aaron and Sierra?
Last we checked, they had both pleaded not guilty, despite the evidence. The case was pending. Daniel's family, understandably, wants the harshest possible punishment.
You can only imagine their pain. It's just a truly somber end. A gentleman, a loving father killed by the person he loved most.
It really makes you think about the darkness that can hide behind a familiar face. The horror that can literally walk in your door and call you dad.
Looking at Sierra specifically, trying to analyze, it's difficult without playing armchair psychologist, but...
But you have to consider factors, right? Aaron Guerrero's influence seems significant. An older boyfriend, maybe manipulating her or encouraging darker impulses. There could have been years of simmering anger from the divorce, the custody fights, maybe misdirected at Daniel.
And that video, filming it, the lack of remorse.
It suggests a really disturbing detachment, a distorted view of what happened, maybe, a profound lack of empathy. Were there warning signs missed? Perhaps the intensity of her desire to be with Aaron, maybe signs of deeper emotional distress that weren't fully recognized amidst all the family chaos?
It definitely leaves you with heavy questions, like how can control and manipulation operate so subtly within a family, sometimes right under our noses?
That's a big one. And also, how do our own biases, maybe our desire to see the best in people we love, sometimes blind us? Blind us to potential danger signs that might seem obvious in hindsight.
Yeah, and maybe the hardest one. How do you find that balance between supporting someone you love, wanting to trust them, and recognizing when their behavior is genuinely harmful or dangerous? When do you have to step back or intervene, even if it's incredibly difficult?
There are no easy answers to those questions. None at all.
If this story haunted you, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. It helps others find these deep dives.